From Capitol Hill to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, President Trump will make his first ever visit to the Department of Justice today. And there, he will deliver what the White House calls a speech to restore law and order. The move is not unprecedented, but it is highly unusual. And that's because historically, sitting presidents, they try to maintain the agency's appearance of independence. The last public appearance by a sitting U.S. president was back in 2015, when former President Barack Obama visited to pay tribute to outgoing Attorney General Eric Holder. And before that, it was in November of 2001 when President George W. Bush formally changed the name of the building in honor of Robert F. Kennedy. The president has promised to remake the DOJ with the help of the people you see on your screen here. And here he is praising their work just yesterday.
We have a great Justice Department. Pam Bondi is so fantastic, and Todd Blanche and Emil, you got to know him a little bit. He was acting for a little while. And some other people are incredible in the Justice Department, and I consider the FBI to be a part of it in a sense, and Cash is going to be fantastic, and all the people. Dan Bongino, I love that. I mean, I love that. I think Dan is great. I think we have unbelievable people. And all I'm going to do is set out my vision. It's going to be their vision, really, but it's my ideas. And basically, we don't want to have crime in the streets. We don't want to have people pushed into subways and killed, and then the person that did the pushing ends up in a 15-year trial and gets off scot-free.
CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang is joining us live from Washington. Weijia, good to see you again. What can we expect from the president this afternoon when he speaks?
Well, you mentioned those other speeches that previous presidents have given, and they were, pretty benign as it related to any political content, because as you also mentioned, the White House typically goes to great lengths to put distance between itself and the Department of Justice. But based on what President Trump has said for several years, including on the campaign trail leading up to his presidency, it would not be surprising to hear him talking about his vision and his ideas, in his own words, that have to do with perhaps retaliation of some sort toward his political enemies, which he has expressed in the past, because he says they are enemies from within, enemies not only to him, but he claims to the country. And so it's not, just the fact that he's going that we are watching. It's what he says, what he actually delivers, and whether he explicitly calls on the DOJ to go after people he views as rivals.
Okay, and Weijia, also out of the White House, the president says that discussions took place with Russian President Vladimir Putin just yesterday, and that those discussions were productive. So what else did he have to say about the conversation?
So after he said that about his Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, who has become a real loyalist and someone who Trump trusts a lot when it comes to matters of diplomacy, he spoke to Putin yesterday. After that, Trump also posted on Truth Social talking about how productive the talks were, but also saying that there is a very good chance that this horrible, bloody war can finally come to an end. But the president also pointed out that at this very moment, thousands of Ukrainian troops are completely surrounded by the Russian military and in a very bad and vulnerable position. He said that he has asked Putin to hold fire, to spare their lives. And so as these talks continue, Mugo, there's still one big outstanding question, which is how and when there could be a peace deal.
Okay. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang, thank you so much for your time today, and happy Friday to you.